Every person has a story. Some are filled with joy, love, laughter. Others are filled with heartbreak, pain, addiction, trials, problems, life. Welcome to season 2 of The Gate. This season, we're doing something a little bit different. Over the next 8 episodes, we're sitting down with 8 individuals, 8 stories. We will hear about the moments that shaped their lives. We will hear about their greatest battles and their greatest victories. These are not scripted testimonies that you're about to hear, but these are real conversations with real people and real stories. Behind every smile is a story. Behind every pew is a journey. So welcome to 8 Lives. This is The Gate. Brother Eli, thank you for being here, taking time to do this.
Sure.
To kind of start off, typically what we've been doing is just letting people introduce themselves, kind of in doing so, not just, you can tell them your name and that sort of thing. Tell them a little bit about your family life now. Try to paint, because we'll, of course, backtrack and get through all the details, but just tell them who you are today. Paint a picture for the audience of what your life looks like today.
Oh, well, married 32 years, 3 daughters, a grandson, and a career in the electrical industry. Been there nearly about my whole career. Veteran.
What's it like being a girl dad?
It is, it's good to be a girl dad, especially if you didn't grow up with sisters. Like you, like me.
Yeah.
It was just 2 of us.
Yeah.
So you learn a lot, right?
I imagine so.
And you learn there's some things that you need to know as a girl dad. Number one, they experience about 15 times more negative emotion once they reach puberty than a guy does.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a real thing.
Right.
Right? I mean, it drives suicide. It drives all kinds of things. And,
Sure.
And if you don't know how to talk to them, and believe me, nobody knows how to talk to them.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they can get into depression. They can get into, but they also, as sisters, have a pretty tight group.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good. They like to joke around, and they have private jokes that nobody else will ever get. Right. That kind of thing. But, I had a really good time raising girls. Right? They were a lot of fun. The things that I thought were funny, they didn't think were funny. So I had to learn how to adapt to that.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, now that they're grown, they're like, oh, that is kind of funny. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we have a business. We have a couple of houses, trying to sell one house. Got a few properties. It's taken a while to get here. All the things that you think you want when you're in your early to mid 20s. You think, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that. And then, here I am, almost 55, and it
Here's the question.
takes a while.
Is it all it's cracked up to be? Getting the stuff?
No.
Because I want it. We that's where we're at. We want it.
Yeah.
Is
sure.
it all it's cracked up
well,
to be?
I think that there's absolutely a lot to be gained in life with ambition.
Right.
If it's directed in the right way.
Sure.
If it's not, okay, buddy,
A lot to lose, probably.
get ready for your troubles.
Yeah.
Right. So Lisa and I, neither one, my wife Lisa, we never have been one to have just to have.
Right.
Right. Of course we enjoy nice things. That's all. Look,
Right.
these pants come from Costco.
Right.
These socks come from Costco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do the
Right.
whole name brand thing.
$150 pants.
No, I mean when I was a teenager, I guess that I wanted Levi's. I didn't want Wranglers. I didn't like the way Wranglers fit, and I didn't like the way they look. And I thought if I had Levi's, I was cool.
Yeah.
But nowadays, man, I don't care. How much did that cost? No, I
Yeah.
don't want that.
Yeah, give me those $16.99.
Yeah, that's
right
right.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So is it crack? Is it all it's cracked up to be to have? It depends on what you have, I guess. Like, there's people with properties that are just nothing but an expense.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
if it's not serving you any purpose, if not doing anything or contributing anything to you, I would say no, it's not worth it. And I have family that, man, they've become really wealthy in this life, and they're, you know, millionaires several
Yeah.
times over, and they tell me, man, I could sell all this tomorrow. I don't need any of this, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they don't do it, but
Right.
they
Yeah.
talk about it.
Sure.
It's ironic. That's the mindset of, I don't know. I don't know enough to state it factually, but in my own look, it seems like that's the mindset of some of the most successful people out there.
Yeah.
The people that are the millionaires are the same people that I listened to a gentleman just over a podcast saying, I've made more money now than I ever have,
Right.
but number one, it doesn't control me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within the confines of I can lose everything I have today materially, and I've got this foundation of other things, so this doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Mm-hmm.
I love the toys,
Right.
but if I lose the nice truck today, no big deal.
Right.
I can drive a beater,
Yeah.
and so that it's ironic to see that some of the most wealthy people have that mindset.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever buy another new vehicle. I just don't.
Right,
Why?
Right.
Because someone else has one?
$160,000.
No, not doing it.
Yeah.
Ain't doing it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I would dare say I'm going to be forced to buy another
Just forced.
new vehicle.
No choice in the matter.
Well,
Forced.
Can't help it.
I will. I guess what I'm getting at is, no matter. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that because I could. There's trucks that old. I was going to say, no matter how good I take care of my truck now, it's probably going to be
Yeah, you'll definitely, yeah.
ruined by the time I'm
Sure.
50 or 60 years
Well,
old.
I mean, I'm in my 50s, and I probably had 30 or 40 of them. So what do you?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It just comes a point where you're like, okay,
Doesn't have to be the newest.
I made this big investment now because I never
Yeah.
could afford a big investment
Yeah.
before. So I made this big investment now, and that's going to be it, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and maybe that's it. Maybe it's not it, but
Yeah.
certainly going to try it.
Yeah. Well, what's some insight on being married 32 years? How's that? That's quite an
Well-
accomplishment in this society.
Well, she's right.
Yeah. Kind of like customers always right, and it's same principle.
So we've got some people that we're talking to now to try to help them through their issues, and communication is key, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not the best at it. We still mess up, man. The thing is, you've got to you must forgive, right? So what if she says something I don't like? So what? She's got a
Right.
brain of her own,
Right.
right? I got a brain of my own. I'm gonna say something that may not sit well,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or might upset. Now, there's things that I say in jest that are taken the wrong way sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I am always joking about
Yeah.
even when I shouldn't be. Sometimes I'm not serious when I should be serious,
That's
right?
right.
I've been been I'm in the fire department. I'm the chaplain and a captain in the fire department, and so there've been times on scene where I would make a remark,
make a
and
joke.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or someone was like, Eli, I can't believe you said that in front of them. It's
Yeah.
but it's
Personal,
not.
yeah.
It's nothing. Nothing.
It's not
Vicious
ill-intended,
or
right?
malevolent,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's always. I've come to realize that moments of levity can be so helpful, but sometimes they can be taken the wrong way,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I was working the one of the wildfires up in Northern California, and the company I was working for was Pacific Gas and Electric, and I was the safety officer for a man camp, and so we had about 2,200 people. All of a sudden, we built this city, right, out in the middle of an old golf course,
Mm.
and there were moments that I felt it necessary to lighten the mood. I mean, we're dealing with lost lives, lost
Right.
property. The whole town was lost. All these things, right?
Right.
So, hey, man, that can weigh on you.
Yeah.
And if you're out there and you're patrolling the area and you find these bodies or whatever, then
It's tough, yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to
Heavy.
deal with that. Let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Or at least when they come in the evening, I can keep the mood light. It doesn't
Right.
have to be so serious.
Right.
So
Yeah, give them some joy,
that's right.
relief.
That's right. Give them a little relief. So
Here's a fun question. Just random. We talked about possessions, kind of your outlook on possessions, and the difference in what you wanted when you were our age in your 20s and what you value now.
Yeah.
So just a fun question. Doesn't have to be deep. What's your most prized possession right now?
that's a great
question.
right? I could say my wife is my greatest possession, but I don't think that's an easy way out. So
Right, yeah.
let me give you another.
Like I said, lighthearted.
Yeah,
Just to show the difference
Man,
in what you value.
so we've been moving out of our house in town to the house out here in the country, and I started looking the other day for a gun. I could not find it.
I've been there.
30-30, lever action, Marlin. Could not find it.
Yeah.
Now, the reason this gun means so much to me is that my dad, when he was still alive, actually handed me that gun.
Yeah.
He had got it on a trade or bought it from somebody. I'm not sure.
Sure.
But he called me up to his house to look at it. And I'm looking at it. It is a nice gun. And I said, man, you want your money back on it? He said, no, here, you can have it. Right? So this is one of the probably the last thing my dad handed me and give to me
Yeah.
while he was still alive. So I couldn't find this gun. I was getting pretty upset. I'm thinking, all right, who has been over here? What rascal
Yeah.
has took, because everything else was there.
Yeah.
And yesterday, this is Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday. Yesterday, we're finally like, okay, we really need to go over and clean that house up, right? So we can get it on the market. So we're over there cleaning, and the door to the bedroom just stayed open all the time. Well,
Behind that door.
it was behind that door, and I was like, oh man, look at that.
What a relief, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, what a relief!
What a
What a
relief.
relief! What a relief! So, yeah, I don't know, physically and possessions, as far as physical possessions and material things. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say what is the most prized.
Sure.
But that one, in this
Meant something
weekend,
to you.
that one is the most important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
No.
So
Quick
that's
story. One time, I just I'm thinking about it. Ryan had left his truck somewhere, maybe up here,
Yeah. It was up here.
and left his truck unlocked. So I opened that
Yeah.
truck, of course, and opened his glove box and took his pistol out.
Of course.
Yeah, why
Standard
not?
procedure.
Normal thing.
Unlocked.
Actually, it was me and Brent. Me and Brent took his pistol out. So I put it in the glove box of my truck. Went on, I don't know, maybe a month, 2 months.
It wasn't that long.
It was at least a month. It was a long time. It was a long
Before he realized it.
Yeah, he's looking for this gun. So he
Thank God, it wasn't like in the middle of a
gunfight,
conflict.
needed-
Yeah.
He calls me one day, and I'm telling you, it was at least a month later,
Oh,
and he's looking for this gun, and
I had
says
okay.
something.
That makes because I had went out of town somewhere during there. That's partially why.
yeah, and what I couldn't find it. I said, man, I don't know.
Somebody stole it out of my console.
I'd snuck
believe they did.
over to his house later, in the next couple of days, went and put that gun in his truck somewhere,
Back where it was.
back in the console.
I think so.
And then I called him one evening. This is sacrilegious. I shouldn't have done that. I'm just going to tell myself. I said, Ryan, I shouldn't have said that. I said, the Lord told me where that gun's at. I said, but you're going to have to be willing to listen to me. He said, you're being dumb. I said, Ryan, you're going to have to be willing to listen to me. He said, okay. And, I walked him around. And I said,
Yeah.
hold on. Go to that truck. Look at that kind. And he kind of freaked out for a second until he put two and two together and realized,
Yeah.
oh, I took the gun and put it back.
You messing with me.
Yeah. So the next time he stands up in a pulpit and says, "I feel the Lord say,"
Yeah,
we all know.
right.
Well,
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Lord,
Where's
forgive
the
me.
setup?
Just
Where'd
kidding.
it come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the plant?
But,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's good stuff. So
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna take us back. Let us get started.
Yeah, let's go. Giddy up.
Tell us about your childhood. What was it like growing up?
Well, there were two of us, just me and Clint, right? And I remember asking my mom one time, and Mom, are we poor? And she's like, yes, son, we are poor,
That's
right?
funny.
And I didn't, 'cause I was kids. I didn't
Right.
get the concept, right?
Right.
So I was trying to figure things out, and I had friends, of course, in school who were not poor.
Right. Right.
So I was trying to understand
What are we?
why-
Poor?
why did they call me poor? That's what I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wore my favorite jeans to school, and they all had holes in the knees, but they were my favorite, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Mom would put these iron-on patches on them, because
Yeah.
I think a couple of times we did that pre-hole, so I wouldn't wear it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go. Reinforcement.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
like
terrible.
that.
I was terrible. So we grew out in the country. Grew up out in the country. My dad was gone a lot up until I was about 8 or 9 years old. He worked on a boat, and he tried a couple of businesses, and we got through that, and I was about 12 or 13, and he decided to open that tire shop. And it kind of took off. He did it out of, I think he kind of did it out of spite. But at some point, I remember him and Mom saying, "Hey, look, these boys are coming of age. You need to be home." Right. And I can imagine what it would have been like with two teenage boys, especially me and Clint,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at home.
Teenage.
Yeah, two rough teenage boys. For my mom by herself, but it wasn't really. She never was really by herself. She had her mom and her mother's mother. So my grandmother and my great grandmother always were there. And,
Yeah.
of course, that's a lot of feminine influence for two boys. But we didn't take to that.
Right.
Right.
No, we were rough and tumble and outdoors most days, and farm animals, and daddy would buy stuff, and then we'd have to take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we didn't know what we were doing, but we tried. I'm out there giving shots to a cow, and I was about 7 or 8 years old.
Golly.
And I'm like, I am scared to death of this cow.
Yeah.
This thing is just going to turn and hook me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And poor old cow was probably so weak she couldn't turn too fast. But
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Right. Yeah. That's
I was out there trying to give her some medicine, and I remember sticking that cow in the neck with that needle, and she jumped, of course, and I jumped. Now the needle's just hanging there.
Popping out. Yeah.
And now I got to try to
Yeah.
get up there. Yeah, it was it was a lot of stuff like that. A lot of climbing trees, a lot of eating dirt. that
Yeah.
kind of
Just good old
stuff.
redneck.
Yeah, just old country boys, and
Yeah.
we there were a few times that Daddy had some ideas, and we didn't know what kind of work was getting into, and we planted a big watermelon pasture, and man, did that turn into work. And it's ironically, well, not really ironic, but odd enough or funny enough that I tell people, they say, well, how did you and Lisa meet? Right? And I'm like, well, we met in a pea patch.
Man.
And that's partly true.
Yeah.
Because my dad and her dad, they sharecropped our pastures.
Oh, yeah.
So they would come over and plant and help
Yeah.
plant. So we out there, picking
Yeah.
peas and
Hey, that
planting
sounds
peas,
like a
picking peas.
Hallmark movie.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably some parts that were kind of Hallmark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Old yellow.
Other parts are horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, we planted those watermelons, and we picked and sold watermelons. Those watermelons were so big we had to roll them out of the pasture, roll them over to the truck. Some of them.
Hey, this is heavy.
They heavy. They heavy, especially when you ain't
Yeah.
but 11 or 12 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Poor Clint, he wasn't but like 9 or 10,
That slave work.
and he's like, oh, it's heavy. I'm like, yeah, it is heavy. Of course, for me, it's odd because I'm 3 years older than him, but he was always my size.
Yeah.
Right.
He was always the same size as me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm 3 years older,
Mm-hmm.
and so we grew up, real close. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where was God in all this? Close to God, didn't know God.
We grew up in the church. Clint all his life, and me I was probably 3 or 4.
Right.
we started going to church.
So most of the life that you can remember.
Yeah, I knew about all the life that I can remember.
Yeah.
It was in the old call church, and me and the pastor's daughter Renee, we'd always play in, and we were just kids and playing with the dolls, and I always had to mind.
Yeah.
I always had to be the one to mind and do whatever she said to do with the doll, and that was kind of funny. But the old call church, we had pews, and then for extra seating, we had some old bus seats. Bolted it against the back wall.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they were bolted down. They might not have been. But yeah, we grew up. So I really don't know how old I was, 8 or 9, 10 years. I'm about a little older than that, because I think it was, I don't know, 9 and 10,
Yeah.
I guess. I prayed through to the Holy Ghost over in the Newton schoolhouse at a youth conference or rally or whatever.
Okay.
And it lasted for 2 or 3 nights, right? So it was like and so I remember the old fella that prayed with me, man. He was, his hair was just fiery red, right? He was a red-headed fella, and his skin was just about the same color.
Yeah.
But that man sat there and sweat with me and
Yeah.
prayed. And so I remember that, getting the Holy Ghost over there. And then, of course, what do you do as a kid? What do you do
Right.
with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You okay, great.
Yeah.
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 Now what am I do?
Go back and get in the tree or.
Go back and get in the tree, or
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
shooting stuff with a slingshot,
Yeah.
BB gun, whatever.
Yeah.
So I got into my teenage years. Of course, I think I was 14 or so when we were building this church,
Okay.
right? And we spent quite a bit of time up here after hours for Dad. We'd come up, we'd hung sheetrock, pulled wire,
Yeah. You were working
insulating it. Yeah. At 14 years old, boy, get up here and get in that attic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, that's the
yeah,
grunt work.
that's the
Young
part
man.
for you.
Mhm.
We hung all the old cedar shingles on the face, on the front. Yeah,
Mhm.
me and Jamie Odom
Yeah.
nailed all
Yeah.
the shingles up there, long time ago.
Are those
So-
still up there? Those are still up there, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, on the face on all 3 sides.
Right. Yeah. Man, that's
You
original.
do good work.
Yeah, I did it for a long time. We got in trouble. We got in so much trouble because below it's shingles, and me and Jamie, we dropped nails, but we didn't pick them up. We just stepped on them.
Yeah.
We got in trouble for
Bar the
ruining all those
shingles
shingles.
up.
Yeah. Oh man, I never heard none of that. But we I never got, I don't think, real close to God
Mm-hmm.
until my adult years, and we had some troubles here, and I'm not going to get into all that. But there were some things that pushed me away,
Mm-hmm.
right? And immature as a person, immature emotionally, immature spiritually,
Yeah.
right? I just didn't know how to handle it other than, you know what? I'm done. Walking away.
Right.
I'm out of here. Y'all can have it. And so that I paid for that too. Right?
Yeah.
That led to a life of sin. Did my time in the Navy. That was a very sinful time, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
They say cussing like a sailor.
Oh yeah,
That's who they're talking about, right? Those Navy boys.
exactly what they're talking about. Yeah,
Hey, if that mic's kind of creepy. If it's attacking you, you can kind of pivot it back.
that's not bothering me yet.
Okay. It
Gets
feels
on me,
steady.
I'll get it off.
Yeah.
there.
there you go.
It was doing that to Clint the whole time. He's
Yeah.
swatting it back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, well, tell us, and you get as graphic or as not graphic as you want. Tell us just a little bit about the age of what you would say your backsliding, your decline, however you want to just kind of paint that picture for us, and what led you to enlist in the Navy, and how old were you? All that
Yeah,
good stuff.
so I always knew I was going to go in the Navy. It's something.
Okay.
I knew that from a young kid. Uncle Ray was in the Navy. My daddy was in the Army. My Uncle Skeeter was in the Army. Uncle James, I think, was in the Navy. Uncle Lynn was in the Army. I mean, it was
Right.
everybody that I looked up to was in the military,
Right.
had spent time.
Mhm.
So, and coming up as a teenager, at some point I joined the Boy Scouts, and I was just as funny. All this coming about full circle here, but the other day, Mom handed me a box of stuff. You know, she recently moved out of her home and into that little apartment, and so she's going through her things. She said, "Hey, I got something for you." Right? She handed me a box, and it was an envelope that I hadn't opened in 40 years. Right, and it was my Eagle Scout certificate
Oh wow.
and a letter from President Reagan.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Right,
That's cool.
so I was like, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah, that is cool.
But I did go through the Boy Scouts, and I think, in a lot of ways, that helped, along with my mom and dad and their attitude towards helping people. Always been that help who you can.
Yeah.
And so I got in the Navy, and I was doing it as a service to my country, as a patriot, not as
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you that. Was it at that time? What was in your mind? Is it just patriotism? Want to do due
Absolutely.
diligence to service?
Absolutely.
Was it just a ticket out of Kirbyville?
no. I figured there were several ways out of Kirbyville, but
Sure.
I did it completely as a patriotic duty, right? And I got in there and had some trouble. Had something very tragic that no one should ever have to live through happen to me, and then I didn't know how to handle it. I had no idea. I was 20 years old, you know.
Yeah.
And
You enlisted at 18?
yeah. So 20 years old, I don't know how to handle this thing, and they didn't offer any help, right? They didn't know what to do. All they said was, "Well, go sleep it off." Yeah,
Right.
well, there's no sleeping this off, man. So
Yeah.
I will say, today, being able to look back, being able to review, and I've told Lisa this before. You know, I said I can point to a moment when things changed for me, right? And trauma at any age can reshape your mind,
Right.
Yeah.
right? It can make you someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that moment, I was, kind of running from it, didn't know what to do. And they at the time, the military didn't really have a whole lot of insight on trauma.
Right.
You would think they had many wars they'd been in, they'd recognized this trouble, but it wasn't until probably the late 90s, early
Right.
2000s, they really began to recognize that there were triggers that they should look for, the things there were symptoms that they should pay attention to. Right.
Yeah.
And so I began to spiral, and I got out of the military. Lisa and I started dating. I had a life where I was running the bars and doing what I want to, fighting every weekend, right? Just whoever said something the loudest, that's who I was going to. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to pull away from that. I knew it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. This really isn't a good life. I should try to do something else.
Were you working when you came back?
Oh
Did
yeah.
you have a job? What were
Oh,
you
yeah.
doing? You remember?
When I first came back, I was working for my dad at the shop.
Okay.
Right? And then after that, I went to work as an electrician. Right? And I was an electronics technician in the Navy.
Okay.
So
you kind of had that.
I had
deal.
that right. So really good understanding of electrical theory, and so that really sped along my career in the electrical field. Matter of fact, at 27, I took the master's exam, and I was the youngest master electrician in the state of Texas.
Wow. That's
Right.
cool.
Now, I don't know if that's still the case, but there's you got to have like 20,000 hours, right,
Yeah.
of proven work time.
Right.
So
yeah.
the more overtime you work, the more hours you can prove, right? So I had the hours to prove it, and so it was exciting.
Yeah.
Right.
So your bad years at this time,
I'm
early
still in 'em.
20s.
I'm still in them.
Right. And so, is it mainly alcohol? Is there drug abuse? Anything
Oh, it's
like that?
everything, anything,
Yeah.
all of it.
All
yeah,
of it.
yeah. So we did. And Lisa, bless her heart, she didn't partake. We both would go to the bars and drink, but that's as far as she went. Really,
Right.
Then we went. I had a couple of experiences that were a little frightening. Right, I had a wreck when Lisa and I were getting married.
Yeah, you want to tell us that story? I've kind of
Yeah.
heard part
So-
of that.
So the night before we're getting married, we were both in church at the time. We said, hey, we're not going to go do anything. Not going to do anything, right? We're just going to chill tonight, and we'll get married tomorrow, and then that's that, right? Well, we had influence and people who were trying to coax us to go do other things. So we ended up going to doing other things, right? And then I got in a wreck about 1 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. I was supposed to get married Saturday, and really wrecked my face and wrecked my jaw, shattered it, right? So then I was in surgery all day Sunday or Saturday, and so then we got married on Sunday.
With your jaw wired.
My jaw was wired shut. I had, that's this medical plastic stuff they put on your skin when it's all, it's because my forehead looked like hamburger meat.
Is that an automotive wreck or that was a Ford
Yeah,
wreck?
no, it was automotive. Automotive. It was a head-on collision between a 1993 Mustang GT and a 1992 Crown Vic with stickers on the side that said Newton County Sheriff Department.
Ooh.
So yeah, it was an interesting time.
Was that on purpose? Were they trying?
They were trying to
stop you.
They were trying to catch us, and
They did.
we had did a little avoiding, right? And
How
so
were
when we
you
got
not
back
in
on the
jail?
road, when we got back on the road, the guy who was driving, I'm not gonna mention any names. The guy who was driving turned his lights out. I'm like, no, turn your lights on, right?
He's being cool. He's
Like, yeah. Well, he was trying.
Right.
He
We
had
get away
warrants.
from him. Let's
He
have
had warrants, and he didn't want to get arrested. Right? So,
okay.
he's like, tomorrow's the wedding, man. We can't get arrested. Huh?
Like, just let me out, dude. You're the driver
Here
here.
you go. Well, as it happens, the cop was sitting in the road with his lights out, trying to catch us.
Yeah.
So we met each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was pretty rough.
Okay, so the buddy went to jail. You didn't have to go to jail.
Nobody went to jail.
Nobody went
Really?
to jail.
Nobody went to jail.
Wow.
Different time.
The cop was in the wrong.
Really?
He should not have been sitting there with his lights out.
Yeah.
Right. So they said, we're just going to let all this go.
Y'all just forget about it.
Nobody
You have a good
complained.
day.
Yup. You have a good day, sir.
Your jaw's all to the side.
Oh man,
Oh, thank you,
I woke up while they were trying to cut me out of the car, and this lady, I think it's a lady. I was out, so I woke up and I think this lady's holding me, and she's looking at me, and she's like cradling me like a baby, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm fine, I'm good."
Yeah.
And they all started like, "Hey, he's alive," right?
Yeah.
And so then I remember being in the hospital, and I'm laying there, and Lisa's there, and my dad is there, and Mom is there, and I'm like, "Lisa, are we still getting married?" She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." And then my dad is there, and he's standing there with me, and everybody else is gone, and my nose is itching. I can't hardly talk. I mean, if it's something's wrong, I know something's wrong. I don't know what it is. Something's wrong. And I reached up, my nose is itching. I reached up, and that whole thing, it just went over. It was way over. I was like, "Ooh, Daddy, look!" Right? Because it just blocked my eye. And he's like, "Ooh, put that back before your mama sees it," right? And so he's over there with his hand on my nose, putting it back in my face where it's supposed to be.
Gosh.
And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. But so I went through the Navy, got out, come home. I'm struggling with who I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm dealing with this tragedy in my mind, and it's a tragedy that wakes you up every night, right? It's a tragedy that here we are. That was in 1992, right? Mm-hmm. And here we are all these years later, and I still have moments, right? I'm like, man, can't believe that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to deal with life, trying to deal with all this thing that's bothering me all the time, and I'm not very good at it.
Right.
Right. And so it wasn't long I was backslid again, because there was a moment in time there when Lisa and I were dating, and before we were dating, I had come back to the church, and trying to find my way, trying to figure it out. Right. No real guidance, and if they had tried, I probably wasn't listening anyway.
Right.
I don't know if I could even hear someone trying to offer support or guidance or advice. I can't tell you, right? The head was very crowded. So I came away, I pulled away from the Lord again and backslid. And it wasn't too long, Lisa and I both were backslid. And, next thing you know, we've got 2 girls. Next thing you know, we've got 3 girls. And here we are raising them in a bunch of mess. And it's not their fault. They had nothing to do with it. It's just we were just 2 kids trying to figure it out.
Paint us a picture of that era of your life. You got kids at home, and that's hectic, and you're working. Is your wife working? You paint us a typical day
So
in life.
we decided, Lisa and I made an agreement that there are things that I knew, right? There are things that I recognized that the value of. And one of them was one of us needs to be home for these kids.
Yeah.
Right. So she didn't work. Right. She worked a few little jobs, here and there, but no, I was the guy. I was the breadwinner.
Right.
So I spent a lot of time working, and then, you know how it is. Santa always takes you further than you want to go. Well, next thing you know, it's speed, and next thing you know, it's cocaine, and next thing you know, it's all this combination, and it seems like it's never ending. And then you don't have money to pay the bills, and why don't I have money to pay the bills? Well, because
spending it
all those drugs, right? So it got to be pretty low, and Lisa, to her credit, she called me one day and she's like, "You got a problem, and we're not coming home till you fix it. It's just not happening."
How old are the kids at this time?
Alexis was about 8.
Okay.
So Brooke would have been
4, 5.
4 or 5. I think Brooke was in kindergarten.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And Alexis was in 2nd or 3rd grade. And so Celeste was just about 6th grade or so, somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
6th grade, so, junior high.
Especially for your older girls, they probably have memories of this dad.
Right. And Brooke doesn't remember it that way so much, but
Sure.
But the older 2, yeah, and I know they were devastated, and I was devastated, and I was trying to find my way out of it, trying to claw my way back to where I needed to be.
Because you were never evil. You never had ill intentions.
No.
There's parts of your brother's story where I don't think he would ever consider himself evil, but he was definitely in a different mindset of anger and just just that corrosive mentality.
Yeah. So his path was completely different. And I had never admitted that I was ever called to be a preacher until much later in life. Now, I preached my first message when I was about 13 years old, 13 or 14. We were still at the old call church. Mm-hmm. And the message was, my God is a jealous God. Right? And so there were a lot of things I said. I mean, it's 13-year-old preaching across the pulpit to grown men about what to make a priority, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, this is going well.
Yeah.
Right? And so oddly enough, they didn't invite me back to preach again.
That's horrible.
Yeah. I don't know if it was good or bad, but they just didn't. And so in this timeline, I was very heartbroken, right? I was broken both emotionally and spiritually and almost physically broken, right? There were thoughts, there were times that I entertained suicide, right? Because I couldn't get from it fast enough, right? I could never do anything to fill the void that I had created. That I just didn't know what to do.
Right.
So I struggled with it, and I was trying desperately to fill that void but I didn't think I wanted to go back to church. I just didn't think I wanted to do that, because I had been there and I had my feelings really hurt, and I just how many times do you go back to an old girlfriend because you hurt your feelings? You don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so how many times do you go back to a place that hurt your feelings? You don't.
Right.
So here I am, okay, and Lisa and I are split up, and she says, "Hey, look, I'm going to church. Why don't you go with me?" Right. we had been about a year and a half. We didn't have a civil word to speak to each other.
Really?
I mean, this was a long time,
Yeah.
right? A long time of just, you can't say the right thing. I can't say the right
Yeah.
thing. She can't say the right thing. She could have been the best and nicest to me. It wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right? I was just at that place. And so then I came to church, and I remember I just melted, right?
And through this on and off, you're wanting to be free from addiction.
Oh yeah. So I found myself struggling with addiction of methamphetamines, and man, that was tough, right? And I clawed my way out of that.
And you wanted to be free.
I
You
wanted to be free.
Right.
I wanted to be free. I didn't want it anymore. And so it's interesting, and you could probably talk to other addicts who would tell you the same thing, that the moment you decide I'm done, then here comes somebody offering it to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
You've been looking for it for 2 weeks, and everywhere you go is just a little bit you can scratch up. You can't really get where you want to be. And then all of a sudden you decide, okay, this is it. I am done. I
Yeah.
don't want any of this around me, but everything out of my house, but everything. And then all of a sudden here comes 2 or 3 people. Hey man, I got you something, but you ain't got me nothing. You don't have anything for me.
Yeah.
You can get that mess and get it out of here.
Yeah.
Right? And that was sheer willpower.
Yeah.
Right.
That was nobody. That was nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I had broke that cycle. I can't say absolutely that it was on my own, but I was not in church,
Right.
and I had broke that cycle. So I'm done. Right. And so then me and Lisa and I were able to reconnect to some credit to some good friends of ours. Said, hey, look, she can't be without you. You can't be without her. She's going to be over here. Why don't you come see her?
Right.
Right. She had no idea I was coming.
And how long had y'all been separated?
About a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a year and a half solid of, harsh words, hard
Right.
times, animosity,
Yeah.
anger, ill will,
Yeah.
right? All of it. And so
Were your girls living with her?
they were living with her.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, I'd get to see them from time to time. I couldn't see them on a regular basis, but that's okay. I tried to make up as much as I could when I got to see them.
Yeah.
So we got back together. Well, she invited me to come to church, and so I did. And I just come and sit on a pew and I just melted, just prayed and just weeping. And, your dad can tell you he was there. It was not a pretty sight, right? It was just a grown man, hardened by life, broken, right? And so I came back to the Lord, and that's been 20, 21, 22 years ago now.
That was 2000 and
2005.
okay.
Yeah.
See, that's so odd because from my perspective, because I have memories. I probably have memories from 2005
Yeah.
of Brooke and Alexis and
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
going out to eat at Pizza Hut
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and all that stuff. I didn't realize you were that fresh back into church.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just, I'm just, all I know is this, Eli. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
when I think back to those memories of us and of course Whitney and Jeffrey and Daniel and your girls playing hide and go seek, in the church,
Right.
that
Yeah.
was pretty fresh.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Right. It was like brand new in. And so, it was early 2005. And so later in 2005, we had
I had
Hurricane
a question.
Katrina. Right?
I had a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure.
I'm remembering your girls with long hair.
Mm-hmm.
They have long hair then?
Yeah.
So did
I never let them cut it.
that's what I remember.
I wouldn't let them cut it.
Brooke had the long blonde hair.
Yeah,
And Brooke was
yeah.
closer to my age. And I remember, and man, that was 2005. I was, Well, 2005 I was only 3, so
3
I'm
or
probably
4
not
years old,
remembering
yeah.
that. So I'm probably remembering a couple years later, but still,
Yeah.
because y'all were fully living in the world,
That's right. That's right.
but
That's
you
right.
retained some of that,
So, well, this was truly my perspective on it, is that I had watched and seen, they'd gotten compliments from all these people about their long hair, and oh, I wish I could have that, and so I said, you know what? And even Lisa, I didn't want her to cut her hair. I was like, I don't want you to cut it, right?
right?
And so when they got older, they wanted to cut their hair. I'm like, no, you can't. No, we're not doing that. She's like, well, why not? I said, look, there will come a time when you can do what you want to do with your hair.
It's not now.
It ain't now. I said, here's the thing, is it's easier for you to say, I don't want it, and you can cut it, than it ever will be for you to say, I want it, and then have to wait on it to grow.
Yeah. Right.
That's a long road ahead of you. So as children and growing up into teenagers, I made them keep their hair long.
Yeah.
They're old enough now; they can do what they want to with it,
Yeah.
and they're not going to hear any flack from Dad about how they wear their hair.
Yeah.
That is not,
Yeah.
it's not my place.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I just find that interesting. That's funny, because I'm just now live putting these pieces together.
Yeah.
And y'all weren't in church yet. These girls show up to church now.
right.
They look like little Pentecostal girls.
Yeah.
Got their long hair.
Yeah, long hair.
Okay.
So before we go too far here, this time you're out of the Navy, living in sin. I mean, and I'm assuming, is that all stemming from this tragedy that you went through? And was that just?
I think
was that your escape?
I think in some ways it was. It certainly can't carry all the weight and then all the blame for all the decisions that I made. But there are plenty. So the incident that took place was a friend of mine and I were out in Virginia Beach, Virginia. He wanted to go see. He had just got there. He and I went to school together. Me, him, and his wife went to school together in the Navy. I was there when they met. I was there knowing that they were going to get married. They got married. She gets pregnant. He comes out there. She's about 8 months pregnant when he dies. Right. And he died. We had a car wreck. He ends up not dying exactly because of the wreck, but he got ran over a couple of times on the freeway while I'm standing there holding him. Right. It's nuts.
Right.
So I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know how to process it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I speak with his wife now from time to time. And I told her when we first reconnected after that, because I lost connection with her. Right. And I have met her and her daughter and her deceased husband's daughter. They invited us to go to her wedding. I'm like, really?
The daughter's wedding.
Yeah. She's like, she would love it if you would come.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I'm
awesome.
there. Right?
Yeah.
So that was in 21.
That's awesome.
2021. So yeah, and I told her, I said, look, we talked for first conversation we had in almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Right. And so we talked, and I said, look, it took me about 15 years to get past that. And she's like, yep, that's exactly what it took me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I can say without doubt that there's weight to what happened.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just me, maybe I'm just all screwed up and messed up and,
Right.
but there was someone else there
to confirm.
walking through this
Yeah.
in a different trajectory,
Right.
and they had the same
effect.
the same results, right? And so 15 years is a long time. And so I think that had that tragedy not been with me in my mind all those years, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, I made a lot of bad decisions, right? I made a lot of, but I didn't wake up every day, well, because of this thing on my mind, I'm going to go do this.
Sure.
I think there were a lot of subconscious
Yeah.
decisions that were made, to try to escape it or to try to find some enjoyment. Right.
Yeah.
So my follow up to that, and the reason I asked this question is you've you carried that around for, like you said, about 15 years. And from my understanding, there's a little bit in and out of church.
Yeah.
You know, during that. So what, at what moment, and I realize something like that never just goes away.
Yeah.
But at some point, you've had to let it go to an extent, to the extent
Right.
that you've just given it to God. When did that take place?
I couldn't tell you when. I can tell you that there was a moment, probably 2015, 2016. I woke up and I said, you know what? I haven't thought about this in a few months.
Wow. Right.
Or I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Now, I was very, very busy,
Yeah.
right? We had the churches that we were doing in California. We had all the work that I was doing in California. There were teenage girls in the home, right? All these things. Had to buy vehicles, get driver's license. There was a lot to stay busy. But I would say, you know, I can't really point to a moment. I can point to a moment that says, hey, I haven't thought about this in a while.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So, to sum that up, I
Missed
guess,
it about like a toothache, you know?
Right. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Somebody's listening to this podcast.
True.
They're dealing with their trauma, their event that's replays over and over in their mind. Somebody that's lived through that. What do you tell them? What's your
help.
words to them?
Get some help. So, spiritually, God is the ultimate help.
True.
Spiritual guidance comes from your pastor or another minister or someone that you're close to that is close to God.
Right.
But there are behaviors that you need to know about.
Mm-hmm.
There's help that you need to talk to someone.
That's good.
Get that professional help.
Yeah.
Don't wait. I waited all that time. And it wasn't until last year. No. This year. Wasn't until this year that I sought professional help. And immediately,
It's insightful, isn't it?
man, what?
Mm-hmm.
Immediately it was, oh, wow.
Yeah.
These are the exact things that I've been through
Wow.
from a person who knew nothing about me.
Right.
These are the exact behaviors that I've displayed. Could it have been avoided? I don't know. But it certainly would have helped to have someone coach me into these behaviors and to know that this is okay. This is a symptom. You didn't know it,
Right.
but this was a symptom.
Yeah.
Right.
Stuff.
For
Yeah.
sure.
So yeah, it was man, so revealing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to have someone who has spent the time to get the education, to know how your brain works, and to know how people process, right? So it's not just a philosophy, you know, the psychiatry behind it, the physiological things that happen.
Yeah.
You know, there's real behavior that's manifest because of certain traumas or certain triggers that happen. So my advice, you know, first seek the Lord.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
That's and I'm not just trying to pitch a sale here.
Right. Yeah.
First seek the Lord.
Yeah.
And then through that lens, I would say seek professional help.
Yeah.
And if you can't find professional help that will believe with you, then go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
It's good.
Don't do it.
Right.
So
Yeah, for sure.
that's like studying where the Bible comes from. You better be firm in your faith
Right.
before you go to studying all that history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So back to the timeline. So now we're back in church. We're here at Gateway. At that time, Brother Lewis is pastoring.
yeah.
And then you get involved.
Yeah.
You get into ministry fairly quick.
Fairly quick. So it was 2006, I think it was. I was in prayer, and I kept thinking about Ezekiel, right? I kept thinking about this valley of dry bones. And I don't know why. I mean, I was fairly new coming back to the Lord, so, you know, there was a whole lot of time when I wouldn't think of the Bible, so I'm trying to figure out what is this that I'm thinking, right? And so I just opened the book and went for it, and Ezekiel, and he was challenged to take a message. And he was challenged in a way that said, if you don't take this message, their blood is on you.
Yeah.
And I just, whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
You're not telling me to take a message.
Yeah.
That's not. But over and over, the Lord pressed on me. I'm telling you to take the message. I'm telling you, if you don't take this message, their blood's going to be on you.
Yeah.
Right. And so I went to Brother Lewis and I told him that, and I was just weeping and, sobbing, and I'm a big crybaby anyway. So I was just trying to tell him, and he's like, well, first thing we got to do is get some scripture in you. Right. First thing we got to do is get the word in you, buddy. So then I spent 7, 8, and 9 in Excel. Right.
Yeah.
So that was 2 nights a week for 3 years.
Wow.
It's a lot of Excel.
That's a lot of Excel, bro.
All the stuff.
Yeah. That's all the stuff. And so, I'd go to work, I'd drive down to the Golden Triangle area and work wherever work was, and 12, 14 hours a day, and then come home and go to Excel class, and then go home and study, and then go back and then decide to find time in there somewhere to write my reports and do the homework and the essays, and and Brother Lewis was gracious in his grading. Right, he knew.
Yeah,
I could get the message across. This is what we're trying to say here.
Right,
and he was like, "Oh, you need to expand on this a little bit, or you need to say why you think this is," and so he was gracious for sure. But and I began to preach here. And I think the first message here was just rambling all over the place. Had no idea what I was saying. I was just
a bunch of those. We've had a bunch of those.
Yeah. So
I still do that.
Yeah.
I'm about to get up there and do that tonight.
Yeah. So I had no idea. And then I preached some really good ones that I know are really good because everybody said so.
Right. Yeah.
Man, that was a good one. Right. But so I sought to get my license and was denied by the board. Right. That hurt my feelings a little bit. But I tell you, I went in with an expectation. The expectation was, Lord, don't tell me to come back later.
Right.
I don't want that mess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes or no, up or down. What are we going to do here? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't want in between.
Yeah.
I can't handle that. And so Brother Russo was on the board then, and he says, I don't think we'll ever give you a license. I said, okay. That's what I wanted to hear. And of course, there were brothers in there who obviously disagreed with him.
Yeah.
Right. And we sat and we prayed and we talked for a long time. And they sent me home, and I called Brother Lewis. They said they won't ever give me a license. They don't think they'll ever give me a license.
Yeah.
He was a little like, what do they think they want? Right. What do they want me to send them up there? Right. Just kind of going at it. And, it's okay. I mean, at the time, I had gotten in trouble with the law. Before I came back to the Lord, I was still dealing with that. I was on probation. We had bills that weren't paid at the time, and so they were looking at all that and looking at all my exploits, and they were like, we don't know.
Did that discourage it? I know it discouraged you because it's got to discourage. It's a discouraging thing, but did it discourage you in ministry? Did it discourage your spirit?
No. So, but again, and maybe this is, so I think that there was a breakthrough when I prayed through in 2005. I think there was a breakthrough.
Right.
Right. I think something turned the other way in my brain. Right. In that I said, Lord, I want to answer yes or no.
Right.
And I didn't tell you what the answer had to be. I just said I wanted one of these two.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think knowing that, and knowing that I had all these things that I was dealing with.
Right.
I had this trouble that I was dealing with, and not knowing the board and not being as familiar with those people at all.
Right.
Right. I had avoided those people like the plague most of my life. I didn't want anything to do with them.
Right.
Right. I always felt like they presented themselves as a bit high and mighty.
Right.
Right. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah. That's just how I felt.
Right.
So here I am. I'm just nervous. Right. And so I'm before them, and they tell me no. And then they had the gall and the guts to ask me, "Is this going to affect your ministry?" I mean, no, it's not going to affect my ministry because I won't give you that power over me,
Right.
right? And so I said, "Look, we're working with the youth. I'm going to continue what we're doing." And at that time, we had been in the youth. I think in 2006 we took on the youth ministry. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Powerhouse. Didn't you name it Powerhouse?
no, unashamed.
Who named it Powerhouse? Who did that?
I don't remember.
Was that someone before you then?
Maybe
Because that
maybe
was
Brother Larry Gibson. I don't
Oh
remember.
wow. Yeah.
know.
I mean that was before I was
Yeah,
alive. But
yeah.
I just remember there was always a plaque that hung on the door.
Mm-hmm.
It said Powerhouse.
Yeah, yeah. So I sought a new name because I knew a new name means a new identity.
Right.
And the things that they had, I felt like the youth group had been through needed a new identity.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, Gabe is the one who named that.
I don't know who's Gabe.
Sister Carolyn's son.
Gail.
Gail, I mean,
Gail,
yeah,
yeah.
Gail. Gail's the one who,
Yeah, you told me that before. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who came up with that name. I was like, man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And we kept that for years.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe someone in between kind of tried to stray away from it. But yeah, that was pretty much the name.
Yeah, unashamed.
Even
Unashamed.
in
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
Yep.
youth group.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, I felt like it it needed a new identity, and that's it's what we did, and it went well. So we come back from Texas district up in Lufkin and said, hey, it didn't happen, and we didn't share that news with the church, right? We just kind of kept it. I didn't want to just my fear on the way home. I was like, man, if I go home and tell them no, then these people I've been trying to influence, they're going to get upset. They've been,
Right.
I don't want this to bother them. And I was trying to not be selfish and,
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
anybody get wrapped up in self-pity. And
Oh, yeah.
I've never been that way. Even after what happened in the Navy, I was never all wrapped up about how's this affecting me. I just didn't see it that way. I didn't see life that way.
Yeah.
I always saw what can I do to help somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Even when I was an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How did life turn for the better through these years? You grew up poor. What you say in your own words,
Yeah.
a more poor lifestyle.
Right.
And then you describe some financial issues, of course, being dependent on substance. And
Right.
that stuff's expensive. And, and so living this lifestyle that's probably not materializing the greatest of things. Jobs got better.
Yeah.
And in your industry, they typically do.
Yeah.
And more raises, and
Right.
you're going
right.
to church.
So I did climb in my career, and that helped a lot. But I went as an electrician. I was working as an industrial electrician for a lot of years, and then went out to California and I went to work for a utility. Right. Well, that was new.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like new stuff. Let's get in here and see what's up, right? So I got into high voltage substations, right? And man, I got in them.
Right.
I applied myself. I want to know, what does that do, and why do we want it to do that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? So growing up poor, and this is all related, right? So growing up poor, we didn't have anybody come fix it. The only person that ever came to fix anything in our home was George. Lord have mercy, lost his last name.
I'm no help to you.
Yeah, his son went to church here. Anyway, so
Yeah.
he would come fix our refrigerator.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, we got to figure this out, boys.
Right.
Because
Right.
we didn't have anybody
Yeah.
to fix.
Yeah.
So if we had to fix a tractor, we had to know how to fix it. If we had to fix a truck, we had to know how to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Problem
Got to figure it out.
skills.
Right. Oh yeah. So these skills I find translated very well
Yeah.
in my career. They carried over. It served me well. There were a lot of times that, as I progressed in my career, I went from electrician to substation technician, from an installer, from installer and technician to management, and in between, I spent like 8 years doing safety. So safety, some real problem solving there, right? You got
Right.
Goofy over here can't tie his shoes, creating all these problems.
Yeah.
How do I keep Goofy from messing up?
Yeah.
Right.
Do I build new procedures? Do I buy new tools? What do I do?
Yeah.
Right. And so what we learned in all of that real quick was that common sense is not common.
That's
Amen.
the truth.
But so what you and I may have in common as things that we look at a piece of whatever. So we look at a truck, or we look at a transmission, or we look at a piece of electrical equipment, and I see these things, and I know what those things are.
Right.
But Junior over here, he's raised in the city,
Yeah.
right? Nothing wrong with being raised in the city.
Right.
Right.
The things that you have in common
Right.
are with other city folks.
Right.
You don't have anything in common with
Yeah.
me. And so when you come out to this problem solving job site where you need to be able to solve problems, you've never had to do that. How are you supposed to know? And so quickly I had to ask this, well, how are these guys going to know this stuff?
Right.
If we don't train them,
Yeah.
how are they going to know? So I would say that growing up poor and going into the trades and using my hands a lot, that really, man, that helped me. I mean, Dad set me up,
Yeah.
right? Set me up nicely because I could figure out how to work on stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But those in defense, or not really in defense, but I would say that, as a kid, we used to haul our trash to the dump, and it was just a hole in the ground that somebody would come cover up later, right? I don't know who the people were, but there was a piece of equipment sitting out there, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would bring more stuff home from the dump than
you
than just about that I
drop
took,
off.
right?
Yeah.
And Mom was like, "No, you can't. No, not that. No, not that." Right?
Yeah.
So I would take that stuff over in Dad's little workshop he had there, and tools were scattered out, but I had access to them,
Right,
and I
yeah.
would just work on stuff. I didn't put a whole lot of stuff together, but I took a whole lot of stuff apart. So as a kid, I kind of built that. That was just my interest.
Yeah.
It's just something
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out how this works. And I want to make this other thing work, right? So that translated. That carried me on, and so yeah, electrician to subtech to safety guy to manager, and now I manage high voltage for all of North America. But I wanted to go back to California. When we first left Texas,
Me too. What year was that? 2011?
10,
10.
2010.
And that was just job related.
Well, I wouldn't.
What's
I
the
wouldn't say
connection
so.
there? Okay.
Because I would received several phone calls to go out there, and I just wouldn't go. I'm like, I got a job,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
and I have ministry here with the youth. Right?
Sure.
So,
Right.
so what? I'm not going out there. And then, and they just kept on, and I could see things coming to an end as far as work and all that stuff. And I was like, and I was praying about it, and I was like, Lord, if that's you, they'll call back.
Yeah.
Right. Well, lo and behold, they called back. And they said, we need you out here now. And I, okay. So, and I had told Brother Lewis and Brother Todd and Sister Tracy and all of them, I said, look here, if this is my prayer,
Yeah.
Lord, if this is you, they'll call back. If it's not you, we're done. Now, the time from that prayer to the time they called was right at a year.
Really.
So it's not like
Not like
2
you just
weeks.
jumped on the
jump
opportunity.
up, go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and I kept it on the table, whenever we used to have like monthly meetings and quarterly meetings. And
Right.
so I was like, just, you guys just, so
Yeah.
this happened, this possibility.
Right.
And they called, and so we went, and we landed in a little place called Santa Rosa. It's about 60 miles north of San Francisco. Really progressive and liberal. Well, that whole coast, that whole line across along that coast is that way, right? But and that's fine. Really good people. We met some really, really fantastic people there. Landed in that church, and I was like, wow, this is different.
Because
They had
before that, I mean, this is all you know. I mean, you were born and raised in
Yeah, it's the only church I knew.
Right.
It's the only church I knew.
Yeah.
It was interesting that when I was in the Navy in boot camp, they would allow us to go to service. I think one time while we were in that
Yeah.
time of boot camp that we went to service, but you had to select what religion are you? I'm like, well, I'm Christian. Okay, Catholic or Protestant? I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah. I guess Protestant. I ain't Catholic.
I'm not Catholic. Let's go with Protestant, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how stupid I was, but that's okay. I didn't know,
Right.
and so yeah, you should have seen the outpouring of the Holy Ghost at the Protestant service.
Yeah.
All the folks in boot camp that just wanted to go home.
Buddy. Yeah.
It was a mess, but so we landed there, and we learned a few things. Right, one, I thought, wow, this is a really nice church, and it's. I looked for things, of course, going through all the lessons with Brother Lewis and, sitting with him and having many conversations. Everyone looked different in that church. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, we got to grow in church.
Right.
Yeah. Right? We don't all look the same.
Yeah.
There's not a bunch of old people here. Nothing wrong with old people, but if you don't have any young people, you're not doing something right.
Right.
So they had that. I was like, man, it's a growing church. So we did good. Loved the Kings. Fell in love with that church. And then I got a call all of a sudden. I'm working in Stockton. I'm like, well, okay, I guess. Lord,
How long?
I followed you out here.
Yeah.
So about a year and a half after we
Okay.
landed, going to Stockton. We went to Stockton, found a church over there. And that pastor was like, man, I hear you're a godsend. Right? And I got work for you to do. And I go, hold up.
All right.
Time out. Whoa, boy.
Yeah.
So, when we got to Santa Rosa, we really kind of pushed our way in, right? This is where we want to be. God sent me
Right.
here, and this by God,
Yeah.
this we're going. Well, that wasn't the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I probably tore up more leaving than I did getting in there. But
Right.
we left, and then we went to Stockton, and then the pastor trying to push me in. I'm like, wait a minute, I just learned not to do that.
Yeah.
So. We spent 2.5 years there, and then the rest of the time we spent at the Sanger Church down in Fresno, or in Sanger, actually, the Tabernacle. And there was quite a few. Man, we met so many people, and we did so many things. There was such a culture shock, even between Santa Rosa and Stockton, right? Stockton is very heavy gang activity, right?
Okay.
And it's even though Santa Rosa is very all of California is very much Spanish influenced, right? It's Santa Rosa. It's Spanish, right. Spanish name, right? And so, but the difference between those over there and those in Stockton was that the gangs had taken over there in the early '90s, and so it's still very much influenced and you could see the repercussions.
Right.
Here we are. We were decades later, and you can still see the repercussions. So it was a culture shock there, right? We learned the Day of the Dead is not something to play with. Halloween's not something to play with. They don't jive with that mess, man.
Really?
Yeah, we ain't playing with that. And so they asked us one time to do Halloween decorations at the church, right? And they call it Halloween. It's just Fall Fest. I'm like, we don't have to call it Halloween. Call it whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
It's Fall Fest, so Lisa went and bought some bales of hay and some pumpkins, right? And oh no,
You bought the wrong stuff.
we brought the wrong
Really?
stuff, right? And so we're setting it up.
Was it the hay or the pumpkins?
All of it,
All of it.
all of it, right? It just wasn't their.
Yeah.
We didn't do it their way. So,
Yeah.
and it's okay because it was a
Sure.
Central Vita was the name of the church, so it's all Spanish church,
Oh, yeah.
right? And so we worked really hard. The pastor there made us associate pastor almost right away, and so you can imagine I'm the one of the white guys coming from the South,
Right.
and all of a sudden I'm the associate pastor, and some of these guys have been trying to get that position for a long time,
Yeah.
right? They didn't quite have their lives together. Some of them, others did, but weren't spiritually right. So anyway, we could probably kick that around about why, but he made me the associate pastor, and I could tell that upset some of them, but for many of them, they were okay with it.
Right.
So we got there, and they had about 6 or 8 people on a Wednesday night for the English part. So we worked really hard. We had that up to about 60
Oh, wow.
when we left. A lot of outreach, a lot of different work. But it's an urban setting, right? So you just walk next door and hit somebody, right? Here
Right.
you got to drive somewhere to get somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was different, and we learned a lot of lessons there. And then when we got down to Sanger, which is a country, it's way out in the way.
Yeah.
Right? So there were some things that happened there, and I'm glad we were there when it happened. We were able to help the church a lot, a lot.
From all your time in California, what'd you gain? What'd you gain from it? Is there some things that you can pinpoint, whether it's more whether it's spiritual or more carnal, just culture stuff. What'd you gain from your time in California?
Man, so we were going down the road a couple of times, and Lisa was like, "Man, we have learned so much." Right?
Yeah.
And that's just the truth of it. We were here, we were dealing with the same folks all the time, and they always had the same problem,
Yeah.
right? We had the same problem in our home over and over and over, same issues, right? We get over there, and there's in the very first book of the Bible, it says to leave and cleave,
Right.
and that is for a reason, brother. So you get away from family, who you leaning on? Each other.
Right.
Right. And so, yes, there were many things that we learned, right? Like before, hand, we would talk to a family member about a problem we were having.
Right.
We don't do that anymore,
Yeah.
right?
Which is, yeah.
Because we learned we handle it in-house. We handle it with ourselves, and we talk about it and we overcome it, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's not to say that we don't get in our feelings or emotions about it,
Sure.
because we do. We're
Yeah.
people.
Try to remain
right?
on the same team and
Right. We on the same team. It's
not
just
fixing up
us.
any more teammates.
That's right. I can't tell you how many times we'd be going down the road, or and I'd be holding her hand, or we'd just be sitting somewhere holding her hands, and I'm like, hey, me and you against the world, baby. It's just us, right? And so that's one of the biggest lessons, is that we learned how to support each other, right?
And that's 10 years after being married. Y'all had been married at that point.
Oh man, that's probably
If y'all moved out there in 2010.
15, 16, 17 years.
Right.
But because of all that first time, we were right here,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're here where we're comfortable.
Sure.
So we got out somewhere where we weren't comfortable,
Yeah.
and the only comforts we had were each other.
Right. Yeah.
Meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big.
That's a huge deal. So for any young couples, right? Look, you need to get away from mom and daddy.
Leave and cleave.
Leave and cleave. And that principle is stated early in the Bible for a reason,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And it's in the first book, and man, and it is powerful.
Yeah.
And there's so much to learn, so much to grow from it. Now, here's where the heartache comes in: is mama don't want you to leave, daddy don't want you to leave.
Right.
They want to follow you or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Don't do it. Get out your mama's house. Get away from mom and daddy. Go and get your own place.
There you go.
Right?
folks.
And do it. And so that's just a huge
Yeah.
principle. Yeah. And it all comes back around full circle. We're living right next to her mom and daddy now.
Right.
Right? We ain't living with them,
Right.
Yeah.
and there's a fence.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a I don't know. There's a lot of principles we learned there, right? And I think that if we're not careful, whether you're the pastor or you're a minister, if you're not careful, you get caught up in building a rule around a problem, when really there should be a principle that you already have
Right.
that deals with that problem, right?
That's good.
So the principle is that we're going to lean on each other, and we're not going to go to someone else about our issues,
Right.
right? With all that, man, there was. I think that there were moments given to me by the Lord. So when Brooke graduated high school, right, She's 18. She's graduated high school. She's welcome to live at home. She's got decisions to make on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing well. But it was a strange time for Lisa and I.
Right.
I had a route, and I would travel. I covered 35,000 square miles in my route. That I would go and visit these superintendents or supervisors about their crews, right? So I would be gone a week, sometimes 2 weeks in a row. And I'd come home on the weekends, right? But there was a lot of time that Lisa had to spend by herself. Well, all of this time, to her point the other day, is like, you got to see crews. You got to see people you had met already.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to see friends. It's just me here by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting in my office at home one day, and I'm just having thoughts and conversations with the Lord, and it came to me that I had to make a decision. And the decision is that now that the kids are grown, now that the kids are gone, you either grow together or you grow apart. What are you going to do? So God pointed it out to me that is a decision that I make.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's not left up to chance. You can't just leave these things
Right.
alone.
Right.
You have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision here. And so that was a big thing. And we helped the churches there. I can't tell you everywhere you go. So we never did. So we went to the church in Santa Rosa, we went to church in Stockton, went to church in Sanger. And then when I took the job over on the coast, which was a promotion in the company, then that was 2.5 hour commute. So I wasn't going to do that every day.
Yeah.
So we moved over there, basically bought a fifth wheel and lived in a KOA because housing was crazy. So
Yeah.
we went to church there and we met some really wonderful people. They all have the same issues. They all have the same problem with people, right? Everyone's got their material issues. Everyone's got their budget issues, right? So growing up poor, then experiencing all of that really helped us to grow. I was tucking away as much money as I could, as fast as I could. And then I was released from my job last year with Entergy, and that was tough, man. I'd never been let go from anywhere before. And so that was an adjustment. And then we started the business and poured a bunch of money into it. And so now I'm back working and we still have the business. And matter of fact, that thing is, when I go over there and open those doors, it seems like a lot of people come up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if I'm not working and I go over there and open that door every day, nobody shows up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's how it
okay.
works, unfortunately.
We'll just do this by appointment. You won't
Yeah.
you want tires? Come call me.
Yeah.
We'll set an appointment. But a couple of things, right? You're going to put money back, and something's going to happen. And nearly about everyone that's of any experience in life will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So don't hold on to it so tightly that you hurt your loved ones because you refuse to help. And don't set expectations that what you put away is always going to be there. It's not. I figured it up the other day. I'll probably work till I'm 70, just so when I retire, I won't have to work anymore.
Right. Be comfortable.
Be comfortable. Right. And things may turn around, opportunities show up. Might buy into, SpaceX or something.
Yeah.
The next one that comes
next
along.
big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, look, put it up. You're going to need it, or somebody else is going to need it.
Right. Yeah.
That's the thing. And don't waste it. Don't. Now, what is wasteful? Right. Then you got to decide what that is.
Yeah. Whole different conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couple questions from, I guess, kind of your last. Well, real quick, what year did y'all leave California?
21. 2021. We
You're
left
almost out there exactly 10 years.
Yeah. Back there. So we were out there 11 and a half years.
Right. Yeah. What it can be deep or really shallow. What'd you love about California? What'd you hate? Or you could phrase it, what do you miss? What do you not miss?
Yeah.
What do you love, what do you hate about California?
So we met so many really fantastic, really good-hearted, good people in California.
Yeah.
And I miss that. Man, we met some blooming idiots. And I don't miss those.
Yeah.
People kind of make it and break it.
People and people.
Yeah.
So I got there and I was trying to figure out all this economy that they had going on, right? And
Which is crazy.
housing is just through the roof and insane. And people are just like, yeah, well, that's what it takes. I'm like, it's not what it takes. That's what it takes to live here.
Yeah.
So then we stayed, and the weather is phenomenal. Absolutely. If you can get up every morning here and it be 45 or 50 degrees every morning, not
Yeah.
what
Not 10 days out of the year.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get up every morning and it's 45, 50 degrees, and it gets up to a blistering 75, 80, right?
Yeah, I wish.
And the humidity's like 50%.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. Sounds
Okay, I
wonderful.
get it. I understand the attraction.
Right. Yeah.
The beach is right there. The mountains are right there. The desert's right here. The lakes are right there.
Yeah, take your pick.
It's all take your pick.
Yeah.
Right? So I get it. I really get the attraction.
Yeah.
The politics and the overtaxation is just insane. It
horrible.
is horrible.
That's not even a political statement. It's just horrible.
No, you could put it. You could. We're gonna tax you so that this group of people can have new shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. They just voted in
Yeah.
like it's nothing. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah.
But we lived 8 years of that time. We lived up near Yosemite.
Which is beautiful.
Oh, you ever been?
Close, but no, not in it. not
Oh,
to it.
brother. So look, one
Seen
day
pictures.
one day we need to go.
Yeah.
Right, we just need to take a van.
Do the whole drive.
Plus, we need to go.
I've been like the redwoods and
Yeah,
That's
I will
pretty.
take you through Yosemite, and I will give you an in-depth look at Yosemite National Park. We would go.
just go on motorcycles.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
a couple times a month.
Yeah.
We were going there for 8 years. Right.
Wow.
We loved it, and
Yeah.
Lisa and I were talking about it the other day. She's like, we really need to get back out to Yosemite
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it becomes a part of you. It is such an awe-inspiring landscape that God made, and it's there's nothing like it
Yeah.
anywhere.
You don't get the same feeling driving out through the Angelina forest.
Not
I
quite.
get a little different feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I literally have this conversation with my wife all the time. I'm like, some people walk out their back door and see mountains and valleys
Yeah.
and beautiful green rolling hills, and I said we
Yep.
just walk out there's Kirbyville.
But no, but here's the
Thickets
thing.
everywhere.
Here's the
Pine
thing.
trees.
So we were gone that time, and a big part of that was driving through the San Joaquin Valley, which is pretty much a desert, right?
Right.
And we come home like, man, we miss this green.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Miss it
it's
so
fun.
beautiful. We miss
Yeah.
this green, right?
It's perspective.
It
Yeah,
is.
It is perspective.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, so we answered the question about California. It's people, and you may have the same answer here. Number one, what got you back to Kirbyville? Why come back to Kirbyville?
Right.
What's the why? Right. And then I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you love? What do you hate about Kirbyville?
So there were times we were trying to prepare for the eventual decline in health of our parents.
Right.
Right. So our home in Coarse Gold, which is a beautiful home, had an 880 square foot room that was open, blank slate, right?
Goodness.
Empty canvas.
It's a big room.
Big room.
It's the size of a small house.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I turned it into a small house.
Okay.
Right. Now that took some doing. That's a whole other story. Maybe one day we'll get into that. But I built an apartment, a studio. Well, no, not even studio. It's a 1-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
Right. Full bedroom, full kitchen, full bath,
Yeah.
living area, dining area, closets, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. In preparation. So, somebody ever needs it.
Right. Can move them out
We
here.
move them out here and I don't have to go, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to I don't have to, because my thought was, and I know there's going to be family listening, but my thought was, if I can bring them out here, I don't have to deal with everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the thought. Right.
That's
Right.
reasonable.
Mainly probably thinking about your mom, right?
Right. I was thinking about mom, and it was
yeah.
also about Lisa's mom and dad.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Right. So,
Yeah, if you're going to have the responsibility
either
of
or.
somebody
Yeah,
living with you, then
Right.
take the
At least we don't have to
responsibility.
deal with
Yes.
Clint At least we don't have to deal with Clint. And
No, it wasn't. Clint wasn't. It really wasn't part of
I'm only
the
kidding.
equation.
Yeah.
So, But my idea was that
Mm-hmm.
it'd be a lot easier and cheaper to bring them out here than it would have had to go back and forth
Yeah.
and do all that because
Right.
at the time I thought we were going to stay there.
right, and your job's there, so it's
The
not
job's
like,
there,
right? You're not.
And then we got out over on the coast, and the expense of being there got so heavy because I'm paying for my house.
Yeah.
I'm also paying for a place to rent. I'm also paying for another travel trailer. I'm also paying for food and gas back and forth at two places.
and it's all
right.
exuberant.
It's
Yeah, it's-
crazy, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just time to go home. And so I didn't. We were connected with the church in Watsonville and what's the name of the other town? Salinas. We were very connected with that the pastor there, but I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was intended to stay.
right.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
So I almost felt like I was in transit.
right.
So I said, well, I told Lisa, I said, I think maybe it's time for us to go home. Right. And so probably not a week later, a guy sent me in a text, hey, this job just opened up in your hometown. I'm like, oh, yes, Lord. Here we
All
go
right.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. So I applied. That was in February. And it wasn't until April that I heard back from them. So I thought, well, it didn't work out. Okay.
yeah.
And they interviewed me. And we came in for that wedding and did a job interview the same trip. Right. Came in for the wedding for their daughter, the guy that died
Yeah.
at the same time. So it all worked together, right? And so then we came back here, and it's not the same church when we left. Of course, it's not, right?
Yeah.
It's, to everyone who's here, it probably seems like the same church, but for us,
Right. It's kind of like watching a kid grow.
and you watched it grow, right? And I
Yeah,
came
like-
back and I said, "There's a lot of good things. It's not the same in a
Yeah.
lot of good ways. It's not the same, right?" And
Is there a couple things that you were shocked by, and maybe you don't want to share that, but was there anything like obviously different that you're like this is, or was it just kind of a general sense like this isn't the same place we left?
well, so there were different faces, right? So that
yeah.
brings something to it, right? That adds a little
And
spice.
quite a few missing faces.
And quite a few missing faces, right?
Yeah.
That adds some spice or takes some away. The thing that I remember most that I miss was all the weeks that we gathered here and played ball.
Right.
We had all the family time here. That was almost every weekend.
Yeah. That was the culture.
That was almost every weekend. And when I came back and that wasn't happening, I was a little surprised,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And so, but then we did all we did with the sound. I'm like, okay, maybe this is why I'm here, right?
Right. Yeah.
So brother DC, God bless you, brother DC, was still doing the sound, and he was pretty insistent for good reason on having the wired mics. He was afraid that the UHF and the VHF that all the truckers and the traffic
Yeah.
that comes through might interfere. I'm like, I think we're a little past that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're going to use digital technology now. We're
Yeah.
not going to have that problem. And so I pushed. I went and bought a bunch of stuff and put it on the platform, and we went wireless.
God bless you,
Right.
Brother Eli.
And
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
That is because I was gone. I wasn't
yeah,
even here.
yeah.
I was.
You
at
and
that
Emily
time I
were
was
out in Louisiana. Yeah.
Man, but that is so crazy because that seems like decades ago.
I remember
How
that
did we
conversation
oh my word!
at your mom's house. We talked about all that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
We come
Yeah.
over, being friends with Brooke. I don't know. We all
Right.
just, that was
Right.
me and Whitney had just got married. And
Yep.
we
Yep.
come over, ate dinner, and we talked about all that. And
Yep.
how badly we wanted
Yeah,
to
and
update.
Brooke was so frustrated. Poor Brooke. Hey, Brooke, love you, baby.
How did we? Just
She was
now
she was
get
so
wireless
frustrated. She's like,
mics?
Yeah.
well, she got here's it. So we come back and Lisa and I'm like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Now I just went and took money out of my pocket and just went and bought a bunch of equipment. Right, I bought
which isn't cheap.
no, none of it's cheap. But I did. I didn't go for the Shure microphones
Yeah.
because I was like, I'm not even going to do this the first
Yeah.
round.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
unreasonably. That's a next level of
Yeah.
expensive. But
So I said that we're going to buy these, we're going to get enough. We got 8 of them. I bought 2 boxes. We got
Yeah.
8 of these wireless microphones. Plug this in. Put these wireless in-ears, right? And so there were a couple of things I'd analyzed with the sound. Is one of the things that I learned in the church in Stockton, because I run a 72-channel soundboard at
Right.
the church in Stockton. It's a big church of 600 people every Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So there was probably about $150,000 worth of sound equipment in there.
Yeah.
Sure.
So one of the things I learned was how to gauge that sound. And so we had all those floor monitors, right? And that sound was bouncing off that back wall.
Right.
It coming out. And if you listen closely, you could hear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could hear it, boom, boom, just the slightest little
Delay or
delay, right? But it was, so you were trying to adjust and you weren't adjusting it the way you thought you were,
Yeah.
yeah.
right? You were actually kind of counter adjusting some of your stuff. Like, okay, let's just get rid of these floor monitors.
Yeah.
Let's put everybody in ear. And it took some getting used to.
Of course.
Took some adjusting, right? And Brooke, she was like, I don't know, after we got it installed and done a month or so, she's like, I'm so mad.
Wait.
I've been trying to get them to do this since I got here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get here and they just do it. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, wait a minute. It wasn't. They just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Daddy just went and did it. That's
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Dad's got a bigger crowbar.
Daddy just went and did it.
Yeah.
And so Brother DC was like, "Who installed that?" I'm like, "I did, brother. I did, Brother DC."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. So-
Yeah.
Whereas if Brooke would have said, I did,
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
conversation
We got a
was
lecture.
different. But yeah.
I'm like, Brother DC. And so he was worried about the truckers, and he brought that up, and I was like, "Man,
Yeah.
I get it." I said, "But I really think we're past that with the wireless
Yeah.
technology
Yeah.
today." So
Which in hindsight, it's very great timing because we're okay. So we were already getting ready for that kind of switch where Brother DC's getting ready to retire and move out.
right.
We're getting ready for a much. To me, we're prepping the soil for a much bigger, complete sound system.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so and that needed some prep because that's a lot of big changes. And so
A lot of big changes.
if we didn't already have in-ears and wireless mics,
Yeah.
that jump would have been, not
Astronomically
this, but-
larger.
Yeah.
Way on up.
And,
Way on
and
up.
also, it was great timing for in 2022, the praise team was transitioning.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah.
when Whitney
Yes.
was, Sister Lewis was stepping down and Sister
Yeah.
Whitney was stepping
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
And so all of the
Mm-hmm.
older, not all were elders,
Yeah.
older musicians and mainly singers, praise team were transitioning out. And so
Well, you think
it
about
worked
it,
out
but
really well.
a lot of the musicians were getting a little long in the tooth, right? They were like, "Okay, look,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're tired."
We've been doing this for 30 years. It's-
Yeah, or longer.
Yeah, or longer. Yeah.
Right? We're getting tired, and so it worked out. It's God's timing
It
and
was
that
really
kind of
well
stuff, and I think
timed.
it went well. And we did the church visible, and I hate that we stopped that program, but we did
Yeah.
did the church visible, and I think I think there were benefits from that, right?
I do too.
I think there were a lot of people that were touched by it.
Yeah.
And I think there became some questions about who we're singing to, or why are we,
Right.
what are we doing here? Certainly wasn't any vanity in it, but I think that it can be misinterpreted and misunderstood, and
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I didn't question it. They said we're not doing it anymore. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the mission of that is great, and I think it's something that we're going to end up circling back to.
yeah,
It's something that's needed. you
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
yeah,
And I don't know. I think we've kind of been doing it through mainly different avenues. The whole mindset of getting the church into the community.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
good stuff. So I don't think you answered that question. We kind of hit some different avenues there. What do you love about Kirbyville? What do you hate about Kirbyville? Maybe hate's a strong word, but
Yeah, so there are some things really to like, and there's some things to dislike.
amen.
There's some things to respect, and there are some things to change.
Yeah,
Right?
disrespect.
Yeah, but rather than do that, I'd rather try to change it.
Let's just make it a little more respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, look, I like the small town feel. I've always liked the small town feel. It feels, that was the thing about being away and in all the big cities that we were in,
Right.
was that there was no home, right? It just didn't feel like home.
Yeah.
Now you make home your house, your home,
Right.
Well, however that is,
Yeah.
right? And we did really good with that. But the atmosphere, coming home, being with family, things just being right down the road,
Yeah.
right? Other things that you took for granted, like there was a Costco everywhere we went, right down
Yeah.
the street, right? There was a Sam's Club, you know.
You're 45 minutes
yeah,
from the nearest Sam's
yeah.
Club.
Everything was close.
I've never even been to a Costco.
Oh, you should go.
Yeah.
You should go. It's like a Sam's. Personally, I like the quality of Costco
Heard that.
better
that too.
than I like.
I've heard it's like a HEB version of Sam's. Like, you know, HEB kind of has a little better quality.
I want to go. I don't know where. I don't know where it's even close.
Houston,
to one.
Humble will be the
Yeah.
closest one
Yeah.
to you. Yeah,
Let's go to Costco.
Just gonna take a road trip.
yeah. Yeah, you got to buy a
not-
membership.
not to
like
speak-
Sam, you got to buy a membership.
Yeah. Not to speak for our guests, but that's an insight of what not to like about Kirbyville is we're talking about taking a road trip to Houston
Just to
to
go
go
to
to a
Costco.
Costco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but so I like the hometown feel. I like the connection that I have with most of the folks here.
Right.
There has been some really good interaction that I've had with people, especially those that knew me in my day of addiction.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I am not a subscriber to the idea that once addicted, always addicted. I'm just not. I think that different people have different struggles, and they're probably going to have some of those struggles all their life.
Yeah. Sure.
Right? But I don't believe once addicted, always addicted. I believe that there is solid ground that you can find and to put yourself on.
Absolutely.
It's going to take some work. It's going to take some
Absolutely.
energy. But I have interacted with some of those people that I interacted with then, and they definitely see a difference.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so they don't even treat me like they used to.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't even treat me the same way. They don't talk to me that way.
Yeah.
They treat me like, hey, here's a guy who got out and got his
that's
act
powerful.
together.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, in a way, does it feel like kind of like addressing some of those old skeletons in the closet? You know, just not that they were just negative in that you done anything wrong. I'm just saying, just that old lifestyle. It's like, does it feel that like going back and
Yeah,
having
no,
an influence
I
on those
don't,
people?
not really,
yeah,
because I never was malicious. I never
Right.
did try
yeah,
to
that may have been
do any damage to
Yeah.
anyone, right? I the only one I was trying to hurt was me,
yeah.
right? So I never did do any damage to anyone. So I haven't found that it's been a challenge to now. What I have found challenging, I guess, is when I approach someone that I know that there is a very real spiritual problem.
Yeah.
You got something going on,
Right.
and I've overcome what you got going on,
Right.
right? And now I'm not sure if you're going to receive talking to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
So
that-
there's a different depth to that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and so I think, but as far as the things that I dislike the rampant disrespect for order that I see. Never seen this many people on the streets, and it's Kirbyville for crying out
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we have this many people on the streets?
Right.
Right. And so there's some serious mental health issues, and if you had talked to me, this time last year, I would have agreed with you. There are mental health issues, but I wouldn't have the depth to understand what that can look like, how that can manifest, and what that can look like, because I hadn't really dealt with my own mental health issues, right? And so, having dealt with that gives you insight,
Right.
right? And people can say, "Oh, well, they're just demon possessed or whatever," but maybe,
Right. Maybe.
Maybe.
There's something.
right? You
Material going
see
on.
something and feel something when you talk to them because there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that there is, the theft and just the decline in manicure and hygiene. It seems to be a real issue, right? And there seems to be more mental illness than I remember. And I'm not trying to speak bad about people.
Yeah.
I think that there are people who have had real struggles
Right.
because of whatever it is in their life that they're struggling with, right? Whatever caused it is not going away, and it's still there.
Yeah.
Now, I was here, 2 years ago, I joined back into the fire department. I was in the fire department in the 90s, in early 2000s. And then I joined, they came to me a couple of years ago. I said, hey, man. I said, man, I've been thinking about it. So let me go up there.
There you go.
You know, and Pastor had said, hey, look, we really need to get involved with the community.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Well, this is a good way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Great.
So I've done that, and I was very honored when they asked me to be their chaplain. Right.
Yeah,
and
that's
that's an elected position.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like you're just appointed. It's
Right.
an elected position. The firemen have to elect you.
That's
And it was overwhelming, a resounding yes.
Yeah.
So that was greatly an honor. I did, however, reach out to other organizations to get a license. Right. So I have a minister's license,
Sure.
but it's not the UPC.
Yeah.
Right. So that allowed me to do some things. There was a time when you had to have that license
Right.
Right.
to perform a marriage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that way today, but it's a shame. But that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So there were reasons for it, but yeah.
Yeah. As we kind of wrap up, and of course, there's always more we could talk about.
Oh yeah.
We could talk for hours. There's a question that I've been asking everyone to kind of help summarize their life, or at least what you want your life to be, what you're striving for.
Yeah.
The question is this: if you were to picture yourself either on your deathbed or had passed away, and we're at a gathering afterwards, or your closest friends and family are talking,
What do I want to hear them say?
What do you want to? yeah,
Yeah,
maybe not
right.
quite that direct. Maybe you
Yeah.
don't want to hear them say all the stuff. But really, what do you want the conversation to be? What do you want to be remembered for and talked about? When we talk about Eli Husband, who do you want to be? What do you want them to say about you?
That's a funny man that cared.
That's good.
That guy liked to joke around. He liked to have a good time, but he really cared.
Yeah,
Those are the things.
it says something.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's a little simple, but I really,
that's good.
to me, your life has had meaning when they can stand at your casket and say he cared.
Right.
Right.
I agree with that.
So that's the biggest thing we could say about Christ is that he cared.
Absolutely.
And so I want them to, I just want everybody to feel that way. I don't want anybody to feel like I didn't care
Right.
because I do. I may not can always do anything about it, but it's not that I don't
Right.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They at least need to know that
Yeah, for sure.
this thing does attack you. After.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
does.
You're lucky. It hasn't came after you with the same vengeance it did your brother. But yeah, it's
Oh man, it's been attacking.
it's been after
It's
you.
going pretty good. That's all right.
You know,
It's the swivel over here.
Yeah.
yeah. I've learned that
Needs to be tightened up. However you do that.
there's no tightening on that one, and that's why I need to get a different arm for that
Yeah, we got to get him a new mic stand.
Well,
for sure. But
my old country boy way of thinking. I'd put a nail or something in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
put something in there, make it
Seriously,
work.
just-
Make it
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may. Yeah, or maybe just spend
Staple.
$16 and buy the better.
Buy the better arm.
Yeah. We started a closing tradition where we allow our guests to leave a question for the next guest, not knowing who you're leaving it for.
Yeah, I saw that on Clint's
Yeah. Interview.
interview. Yeah.
Well, first, let me ask you your question, and then I'll let you leave your question. I'll ask you the question that was left for you.
Former guest.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And they didn't know they were leaving it for you. But the question was, if you could go anywhere tomorrow, and with the also kind of parentheses there of stress-free,
Yeah,
money-free,
Completely guilt-free.
guilt-free, families taken care of, jobs taken care of,
Yeah.
kids are taken, everything's taken care of. You can go anywhere tomorrow and just be there for however long you want, whatever. Where would you go?
oh man.
Yosemite.
No. Geographically, I'm not so sure that the location matters. But what I would want is in 2008, I reconnected with I connected with, not reconnect, but I connected with my biological family.
Okay.
Since then, I have made several more connections. I have a couple of sisters and 2 or 3 brothers on my dad's side, and I've met one sister and his widow, my dad's widow. I would want all of my adopted family and all of my biological family to be there for a week, 2 weeks, whatever.
Let me press in, just out of curiosity, and I hope this doesn't come across what I'm about to say. Ryan often says I sound very rude. I don't mean it as rude.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's, I'm trying to think of a better way to phrase it. I'm just going to say what came to mind. Why do you care?
Right.
I want to know that. I'm trying to dig into the thought, and we
Right.
can
You've completely caught me off guard on that one. That's a very interesting answer. Very interesting answer.
What's the
appeal?
A lifetime of looking in the mirror and saying, "Who am I?" Right.
Yeah.
And the more connections that I make, the more I see me.
Right.
In a big way, right? Mannerisms, habits, speech, ways of thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Things that I'm attracted to, things that interest me. All of these, right? Some of them have nothing in common with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not the truth for most of them.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting.
I think that the longer I spend, the more time I get to spend with them, the more questions I have about my family. And then when I go to the husband reunion, then the more questions they have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
guys, get me out the middle. Y'all just come meet each other, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not to be self-serving, but I really would like to see
Yeah.
that interaction.
Just
and
everyone
that
together.
meet, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't know, that's if I could do anything tomorrow,
Yeah.
that would be it.
It's
That's
interesting.
interesting. Was that something that come up often in your line of thinking growing up? We really didn't get into that whole story.
So
I mean, did
was,
that
when
the
I
way
was old enough?
Yeah.
So I'm 3 years older than my brother.
Right.
So I'm a little fella,
Yeah.
and this is a real conversation.
Yeah.
My mother is pregnant with my brother growing in her belly.
Yeah.
Well, Mama, did I grow in your belly? No, son, you did not.
So she always told you the truth about it growing up.
Always.
There you go.
Okay.
Always. So when it would come to, I mean, you see Clint, right? We don't look. You see my mother. We don't look anything alike.
Yeah.
Right. You see my pictures of my dad. We don't look anything like him.
Yeah.
So when it came time, and I was able to make contact, I saw immediately. Well, I look like this guy. I look like that guy. And my sister, half sister, lives in Springs. She's like, dude, in a minute I saw you.
Yeah.
You were definitely part of this family.
Right.
Right. So, yes, it was brought up many times, maybe sometimes in an unhealthy amount.
Really?
Yeah.
Right? But it's always good to know the truth.
Yeah.
And I think that, there were some comparisons throughout, well, why don't you be like your brother? Or why don't you do this or what? And sometimes it was directed at me. Sometimes it's directed at Clint, right? But
Right.
and that's not fair to either one. But it's
Right.
It's just a parent trying to make a point.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, I think it was there. It was there a lot.
Yeah.
And I loved my mom and dad. Don't get me wrong. They're still mom and dad.
Right.
I met my mother. I called her Bonnie.
Sure.
I didn't call her mom.
Right.
Right.
Why would I? And I had the conversation with her. I said, look, I need to maintain a distinction here.
Yeah.
And this is for me. I'm
Right.
going to call you Bonnie. And she was like, I don't care what you call me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care what you call me, son.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I think I think that there was always that question. So
Yeah.
I had that nearly all of my life, and that's what I told her when I met her. First time I met her was over the phone, and immediately she's trying to explain.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, hold up.
Yeah.
And I told her, I have nothing in my life to blame you for.
Sure.
Who are you? What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Right.
What do you like to eat? Where do you like to go? Right?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Right.
And so that I think, and I don't know that was just me being good or that was the Holy Ghost. I think it was just God giving me a gift at that time.
Yeah.
And that definitely left a door open.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If I had been angry, it'd been different.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Right? If she had said something that angered me at any point, I could have just chopped it off, right?
Right.
But now I've had 18 years of really good relationship with the family that I never knew before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very interesting. Okay, so
So
in
my
closing,
question.
what's your question?
Oh, man.
To leave for the next guy or gal that you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's challenging.
It is tough.
This is tough. That's tough. Right? What question am I going to ask the guy that I don't know next? Right? If the world was ending tomorrow and you knew about it, what would you do?
It's a deep one.
I like it. Good question.
Yeah.
Well, Brother Eli Husband, it's been a wonderful interview.
It has.
Thank you, sir.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
I think the audience is going to be blessed by it. I think there's a lot of bits and pieces of advice and insight, and a lot of stuff to ingest, and I think it's going to bless people. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.